Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Master of Science in Health Data Science. Today, we will proceed our next topic of our chapter, that is 2.4.7, Data Stewardship and Trust in Digital Health. And these are the contents that we will cover. What is data stewardship, ethical framework, global laws, real world evidence, generating real world evidence, data stewardship models, challenges, conclusions, and the policy brief and that software is discussed in the next lecture. So, data stewardship and trust in digital health. So, in the era of a digital health, data is no longer just a record of past. It is the engine of future medicine. But engines requires a driver. As data stewards, we are those drivers. So we live in paradox, and what are the challenges that we are facing about the opportunity? We have more data than ever to cure disease using the real world evidence, and the risk is that we have more weakness, that is vulnerability, than ever. A single leak does not just cost money, it affects the patient trust. That is very important thing, which is the hardest asset to rebuild. So, our mission is that balancing the power of data with protection of the patient. Key skills is that ethical reasoning, regulatory compliance, and real world evidence analysis, and tools are that one that we will discuss. So, what is data stewardship? Understanding data stewardship management is about how, and stewardship is about why. So, data management, the technical act of a saving and organizing data, data stewardship is the ethical responsibility to ensure data is used correctly, safely, and for the benefits of patient. And the goal is that to become a trustee of the patient's digital life. So the scenario is that the cost in the data, the hospital has thousands of records from patients who have not visited in 10 years. A manager keeps them as a server. The steward decided if the data is still accurate, if it's legally safe to keep, and how to protect it from being hacked. So now we will discuss the four pillars of ethical framework. First one is the beneficence. Use data to do good. Example, a finding cure. Non-maleficence, do not harm. Example, don't let data leak and ruin the patient's career. Autonomy, respect the patient choice. Example, the right to say no to research. Justice, use data fairly. Example, make sure AI work for all. That thing ethics, not just one. So, what is the scenario? The bias trap. An AI tool is trained on data from a wealthy private hospital to predict heart attack. When used in the rural public clinic, it fails because it does not understand the lifestyle of that population. So, this is a failure of the justice pillar. It has the information about all areas. Now, these are the global laws, that is GDPR, that gives patient the right to be forgotten deleting their data. Local laws, example, Pakistan's PDPA often require the data stays within the country. So these are some rules and restrictions. And HIPAA USA focusing on protecting identity in healthcare setting. So scenario is that the global app, you launch a health app in Karachi. A tourist from Germany uses it and later asks you to delete all their data under that rule, that is GDPR, the right to be forgotten. So if your system is not designed for data deletion, you could face massive international fines. So you have to be aware about all these laws. Then the real world evidence, importance of a real world evidence, moving beyond the lab, RCT, clinical trial, perfect conditions, limited people, Real world evidences, that is messy data, million of people, real life results. Why it matters? Because you have a touch toward the real world, because we are working and living in the real world environment, so we have information about them. Why it matters? Regulators now use real world evidence to see if drug works safely in real world after its release. So, for example, the post marker surprise, a new a new blood pressure drug passed all the trials. However, real world evidence from 50,000 smartwatches shows the patients who take it with coffee have a high heart rate. This real world insight was never caught in that lab. So we have to do practical and toward the real world scenarios, because we have to test and provide the cure to the people that are living in the real world. So we must have to experiment and have a touch toward the real world environment. Generating real world evidences, the fourth step process, that is steps to generation. Curation, clean the messy data from electronic health records and wearables. Two pointers, that de-identification, remove the names, IDs so patients stay anonymous. Then analysis, use statistics to find patterns. Submission, present the findings to health authorities for policy change. Scenario is that, just like the vaccine tracker, during flu season, a city uses pharmacy sales data and schools absence records to prove that a specific vaccine is 80% effective in real world evidence. This allows the government to approve more funding for that vaccine. Data stewardship models, the types of models, centralized, one big bucket, easy to use, but it leaks, everything is gone. Federated data stays in individual hospitals. We send the question to the data and only the answers come back. Just like a scenario, the research network, five hospitals want to study cancer. Instead of moving all patient files to one server, high risk, they use a federated model. Each hospital runs the analysis locally and only shares a final percentage. Maximum privacy is maintained. So this we'll discuss in our next session, that is about Polybrief and the software, that is IVO, tools for action, that is turning data into action, and a software tool is used to analyze the qualitative data, like reading 100 different hospital privacy policies to find out what missing. So this is basically a software tool. And the policy brief, we will see that how to shift toward a decision maker to make the policy briefs. That is our next topic. For example, the CEO's pitch. You use that software to analyze feedback from 500 patients who are scared of data leaks. You write a policy brief recommendation, trust dashboard where patient can see who saw their data. The CEO approved it and the patient satisfaction rises. So this is basically a tool, just like a reading 100 different hospital privacy policies to find what's missing basically. And what are the challenges in stewardship? That is identifying challenges, that is data silos, hospital refusing to share data. Re-identification, hacker is using AI to guess who an anonymous patient is. Utility versus privacy. If you hide the data too much, it becomes useless for science. Scenario is just like the zip code leak. A researcher publishes anonymous data including birth date and zip codes. A hacker crosses with public voter list and figure out the identities of 50 patients. The steward failed to prevent the re-identification. So, what is the conclusion and takeaways? That trust in the foundation. If patients don't trust the system, they provide bad data. So, we have to achieve the trust of the patient. Stewardship is active. It requires constant auditing and ethical checks. Real world evidence is the future, that we have to work on the real world in order to do and make our plan successful, and learns the laws, all that one that we have discussed. So I hope this lecture is clear, and in the next session we will move toward the further topics. So have a nice day. Thank you.